I'm now creating 10K months. I'm now in the process of creating 10K months. I'm the coach, I'm the healer, I'm the whatever you are that now creates and accepts and receives easily 10K months or more. And when you say that, that now becomes the magnet to that needle in the haystack. And that block that is specific to that, to creating or receiving, generating, actualizing, manifesting that goal comes to you.
I'm very excited about introducing Jillian to you because she's a wonderful person. She lives near or in Halifax, Nova Scotia. We've had a number of chats. She's a recent member of the Zen Zone Mindset, very wise woman. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Jillian. How do I pronounce it? Schlager.
Yes, Jillian Schlager.
Schlager. I like your hat, Jillian.
Thank you.
So before we get in, I know that we're kind of excited about this. We're excited about this topic because we know how challenging it is for most of us, especially coaches out there. And I know I have a lot of coaches on my membership. We have a lot to give. We have a lot to offer. We have a lot to give. We have some wisdom. We have compassion. But sometimes we struggle with the money part. And so I think it's a great way to start the new year talking about what holds people back in terms of prosperity and some of the tools or techniques that we can use to overcome that. But before we do, could you take a few minutes? I know that what a lot of people love when I interview people is they want to know more about you. They want to know more about your background, maybe some of the big challenges that you have faced in your life, what you did to turn it around before we get into the nitty-gritty of the kind of techniques you are going to help us with today. Can you say a bit about your background?
Sure. Well, background is I'm an author, healer, coach. I've been a healer for over 30 years. I've self-published 4 books. 3 are live on my Amazon page. 1 I've pulled because it was my healing system that I just got this download of the healing system into my noggin, and I just took off running and self-published a book. But that healing system has now morphed into something more beautiful and brilliant, and I want to do it justice by writing another book. I am born and raised in Ontario, Canada. I have traveled the world. I love animals and walks on beaches and all things magic. And I love sharing these tools with as many people as I can get my hands on. But the challenge, I just actually wrote a post on my Facebook pages and Instagram. I've been through a bunch of challenges, as we do once we get to the age that I am. And these challenges were, looking back, they were a blessing in disguise. The one challenge that I wrote about was standing in my dream farmhouse in the kitchen, and I had just been served with divorce papers. And my husband of only 1 year and I separated 6 months prior, and he was already back with his ex, and they had served me, they'd lawyered up, and they served me with papers, and they were coming after me for everything. And this was after he had talked me into quitting my job. So I didn't have a job, I didn't have income. I had to ask him and beg him for money every single week or every single month to pay the bills. And it was a huge challenge. And I was scared because I was alone and I didn't know what to do. And I felt like I started to get really angry because I felt like I was a very independent woman, and how did I get here? How did I get into this situation? And I demanded that God, source, the universe, somebody up there, please help me. I need to get out of this house. I need a certain amount of money so that I can get a place to live. I need a job. I didn't know what to do. And so I just sent that request or demand out into the universe. And within a few days, I had $6,000 land in my account randomly. And I had lined up a place to live. And that's kind of the way things have been going for me. I would get a bunch of money, and then I would, it would be gone. And so there's this roller coaster. Me being a creative person, me being a spiritual person, I started to look at this and start to look at, okay, I think there's a lot of beliefs and rules and points of view that I have around money, around abundance, around receiving it, creating it, having it, that are working against me instead of working for me. So that has been.
Could you give me an idea of what some of those beliefs are or were?
So I'm creative. A lot of creative and a lot of spiritual people have trouble charging for their services. If you're, there's the common belief that artists are poor. Artists struggle to make a living with their art. If you're a spiritual being, there's all of these rules and beliefs around accepting and receiving money for your gifts, for your talents, as a healer or as a spiritual being. There's a lot of vows of poverty that a lot of either healers or spiritual people will think, and a lot of it comes back to Jesus didn't charge for all of the healings that he did. And I don't know if that was the start of it, but I believe that Jesus was a real person, and if he had gold, frankincense, and myrrh when he was born, he was good. He didn't need to charge for his services. But the average healer, the average spiritual being with all of these beautiful gifts that we have, we either tend to devalue them because it just comes so naturally to us, or we think we're not allowed to, or it's bad to charge for our services.
So how did you get fed up with that pattern? Because obviously what you're saying is very accurate. Many of us coaches and trainers and speakers have trouble asking for the deal, feeling comfortable with building up financial prosperity. I mean, obviously some don't, some do quite well. But how did you finally get fed up with it? And what specifically did you do, practically speaking, to turn that around?
Well, it's interesting because, I'm a personal development advocate. I say I'm a PDA. I love personal development books and programs, and I've been searching and collecting a lot of these over the years. And a lot of books you'll read, you get to the point where, you can do this, or this to change your life. But if you have subconscious programming, you're kind of SOL. There's nothing really other than sitting on a couch for 30 years doing talk therapy or doing hypnosis. There's nothing really that can combat and shift that subconscious programming. And we've been sort of trained to look through this mountain or haystack for that needle, for that one block that's getting in the way of what our desire is, what our goal is. Say if we have a business and we want that elusive 10K month, and we just keep missing it. We're programmed to look for the blocks that are in the way of that. And the number one tool that I teach in my healing system is, instead of looking for all of those blocks that are getting in the way of that one thing, you focus on that one thing, and that one desire. I'm now creating 10K months. I'm now in the process of creating 10K months. I'm the coach, I'm the healer, I'm the whatever you are that now creates and accepts and receives easily 10K months or more. And when you say that, that now becomes the magnet to that needle in the haystack. And that block that is specific to that, to creating or receiving, generating, actualizing, manifesting that goal comes to you.
Okay, so obviously, I mean, personally, I can't disagree with what you're saying because no matter what I teach and a lot of people teach, uh, most would agree that if you change your mindset around your belief system and change the negativity into positivity, that is a powerful thing that you need to do. But a lot of people would argue, oh, it can't be as simplistic as that. Not, I don't think it's as simplistic as that either. It's not just about saying all of a sudden, okay, I am now earning $10,000 a month. You could do it if you really do it consistently with a lot of emotion, with a lot of consistency. But most people, by doing a technique like that alone, won't really overcome their issue. Are you saying it's that simple?
And that's the first step. So the first step is seeing what the block is. And a lot of people will say, oh my gosh, God is testing me. Or, oh, the universe is testing me because I'm focusing on this and this came up. And so that's a test. And it's not. That is your brain and your reticular activating system showing you the specific block that is in the way. So if you're saying, I'm now generating 10K months, you're saying that to only, if you know that you have subconscious programming, if you've already said for months and months, I'm making 10K months, I'm a 10K month earner, I'm a 10K month coach, and that hasn't happened yet, then there's a specific block. But maybe that block has been coming up into your reality for you to see, and you've been ignoring it. And that's the challenge that we have.
So what do you do with that? Let's say someone tries to implement those words, but it's not working. What's the next step? What do you recommend that they do?
Next step is to really witness what is coming up, what feelings are coming up. And oftentimes these feelings are uncomfortable and we don't want to feel them. But if we feel those feelings, emotions, energy and motion, those emotions are your feedback. And I then teach how to use those emotions and muscle test the body to see where that block is resonating or sitting in or stuck in the body. So the body can't lie, and the body never forgets, always remembers. The body can't lie, and the body never forgets and always remembers. So we can use that to our advantage. We can test with muscle testing where that resistance or block or story or point of view or conclusion or judgment is sitting in the body. And that will lead us to the next step of erasing, dissolving, pulling out that energy or that emotion so that then we can better align with that goal.
Okay, so let's say hypothetically, I'm someone that recognizes that I've got the block. I start to do these so-called affirmations. I continue to have blockage resistance. I'm earning $10,000 a month. I go inside, whether I get it from help through working with someone like you or myself, and I go inside and I say, oh, it's quite clear to me when I was a teenager, my parents or my father or my mother or somebody said I was stupid and could never make it. And in my mindset, in my hearts or in my emotions or in my body somewhere, I do have something sitting there that says, I can't do it. I'm not worthy of it. I'm not worthy of it. I don't feel like I deserve it. So knowing that's how I feel, what do I do with that feeling at this point?
Well, let's go into some muscle testing because then it's practical. You guys watching can do this on your own. Muscle testing is a tool that if you just place your dominant hand, so if you write with your right hand, you're going to put your right hand on your clavicle, and you're going to put your hand flat. Your thumb, your fingers are all flat. And you're going to raise your index finger. And this is muscle testing. So you're going to raise your finger and you're not going to let the other finger or hand push that down. You're going to leave it as strong as you can. And you're just going to test what that feels like. Okay, that's pretty strong. It moves a little bit, but it's pretty strong. And then you're going to ask your body, show me what yes is. How strong is yes? So you're just going to repeat yes, 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 yes. And that's pretty strong. And then you're going to say no, 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 no. And your finger should weaken because, again, your body can't lie. So across the board, our body will weaken with a no response or a lie. So if I said my name is Jillian, yes. If I said my name is Sally, no. And you can test this. This isn't just me. This was developed by a chiropractor, George Goodhart, in the 60s, 1963, I believe. And he noticed that when he talked to his patients and he was working on their body, on their muscles, and the patient said something affirming or positive, the muscle would test strong. But when they would say something negative, or if they would lie, the body would weaken. We can use this to tune into where we're aligned with our goals and where there's a dissonance, there's a disalignment, unalignment with our goal. So if we tune into, I feel stupid, and that is blocking me from creating my 10K month. And you would either test yes or no, that's not the block. Does that make sense?
Yeah. The part that I'm having trouble that now there are many different people with different ranges of emotional patterns, you might say. So let's say you're teaching a technique like you are right now, and I'm a person that not only do I have a lack of belief in myself, but in terms of my lifestyle, it's a bit of a mess in terms of my actions, in terms of my performance at work, in terms of my personal relationships, including just a lot of things around me are not working well. That's different than me having a pretty good life, having still emotional, psychological issues that are holding me back. Now, so you're teaching people the method that you're teaching. How do you distinguish between people who can actually take what you're saying and run with it versus someone who's almost not ready? They need to build up a lot of areas of their life to really empower themselves on that way. I don't know if my question is clear.
Are you asking, how do I know whether someone is ready to implement the tools if they don't feel like they believe in themselves or trust themselves enough?
Maybe that's a good way of asking it, yeah.
Well, that's not my job. My job is to give the tools and provide the tools. And I think that people, when you try this and try that out, try this one, because it's really, really simple to do. There's other ways you can do it. You can do the ring and test that way. Other people test the ring this way. There's other ways you can muscle test yourself. But I want you to try it. And when people try this and when they realize, whoa, I'm communicating with my body, I'm communicating with my subconscious mind. As Dr. Joe Dispenza says, your body is your subconscious mind, right? So all of these decades, we've been trying to tune into our mind and our subconscious and our unconscious through all of these fantastical procedures. Yeah, your body is your subconscious mind. So if we tune into our body, we can connect with our subconscious. So somebody who's not on an emotional level to be able to trust themselves yet, I would just suggest to try work with this with small things. So there's another layer of muscle testing that you and I did that I use with my clients, which is same as this. You're still muscle testing, but you're imagining it in front of you a whiteboard. And this whiteboard has either, if you're going to do the yes, no, the yes is on one side and the no is on the other. Usually the yes would be on the right and the no would be on the left. And you're just imagining this magnetic whiteboard out in front of you. Yes is on the right, no is on the left, and you can start to populate it with fun things. My name is, a correct name and a false name. I like strawberries. Pizza is my favorite food. I lived in Korea. I speak Italian. Start just populating this whiteboard with fun things. And this whiteboard or muscle testing allows you to tune into your own body and your own subconscious mind. And if you look at it from a place of this is fun, this is intriguing, this aligns me with my greatest and highest truth. Because really we're really programmed to look for information outside of ourselves. We're programmed to ask for information.
When the answers lie a lot inside ourselves. I know that doing the exercise with you the other night, I went into a deeper state of calmness and tranquility, and it was very helpful, and I look forward to doing more of it. Now, as we go, because we're kind of running out of time a little bit, it's a fascinating subject. Could you give us one example of a client that you've worked with using whatever tools you provide? I'm sure there are more than one or two tools that you teach, but could you give us an example of a client who went through your system and dramatically empowered their life? And if so, how did they do that?
Yeah, I'm reminded of there's many people who came to me for different reasons. One was a business owner who wanted to take her business to the next level, but she could not go live. She couldn't look at that green little dot. She had trouble with the technology, and there was a lot of fear around showing up in her business that way. But she knew that, she heard that going live would allow her business to really reach a broader audience. And within 20 minutes, that fear was absolutely gone. So the one main tool that after the muscle testing, that I suggest people tune into is this fear, is this rule, is this belief, is this limitation really mine? And what I mean by that is, we as bioenergetic beings become entangled, and we learn from all of these other people in our lives, our mother, father, family. So from 0 to 7, we've heard and experienced all of these beliefs and rules about just the way life is. So if we grow up hearing something again and again and again, a fear of our mother or fathers or a limiting belief, then we most likely will take that on as our own belief. Because we want to fit in, we want to be accepted, we want to, it's survival, we want to be acknowledged by our tribe. So we'll take on the beliefs of other people. And that's one of the first things that I ask is that fear, is that belief really yours? And if you really took some deep breaths, we went to the alpha level the other night. That's something that's super easy to do, but just take some deep breaths and really focus on maybe your heart chakra and ask yourself, do some muscle testing. Is this belief, is this rule mine?
It all sounds exciting and very, very wonderful. I love the work that you're doing now. For those listening, and also we're recording it. So if anybody could relate and resonate with what you're talking about and would like to get in touch, do that.
Yeah, just contact me on Facebook. I'm on most of the socials. I have a YouTube channel, a TikTok, an Instagram, but I have a free Facebook group as well. And yeah, just reach out to me on Facebook and we can connect about how to build your magnetic money mindset.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for coming on. I'm just going to end by letting people know a little bit about myself, those that don't know me too well. Most of you know I'm a former Zen monk. I have created a fast track 9-step formula that if you go and you do it for about 60 to 90 days, you will overcome a lot of things like shyness, insecurity, fear, timidity, and actually build a lot of inner confidence to begin mastering the art of your communication skills, both in your business and personal life. So it's a duplicatable, fast track system. It becomes a self coaching system. If this is something that's of interest to you, you can go to my page called shy2bold.com, which I'll leave below, shy2bold.com, and you could access a whole series of guided meditations on confidence and some other goodies as well that I give away. One last thing, which is going to be my focus in 2022. Some of you might be aware of this, as my program is a duplicatable system, and my goal is to train and coach at least 12, maybe more, leaders in the world who love to be a coach, they love to be a trainer, but they don't have an existing program. So my goal is to train these people, and then they can take the 9-step formula and administer it to their own target audience with their own personality, because not everyone's going to resonate with Allan Knight's personality. So if anyone's interested, you can go to AllanKnight.com and get more information on that as well. Again, Jillian, thank you so much for coming on board today. Look forward to doing more of the same and collaborating in wonderful ways.
Me as well. Thanks so much for allowing me to come in and talk to everybody. I hope you guys have
Take
a
care,
great day.
everyone.
Bye for now.
Take care.